Hello everyone, welcome you to Aurora. So in today's session, I'm hoping to discuss Malvolio's character, especially with regard to Act 3, Scene 4. So let's just have a basic understanding of Malvolio first. So I'm moving on to the next slide. Malvolio functions as a contrast to the play's merrymakers such as Toby, Sir Andrew, Maria, and even Festi. For example, he is a somber shadow of the aristocratic world and a sober reminder to Festi that the world is a serious place. So basically, when you study Malvolio's character, you definitely need to do a comparison and a contrast between the merrymaking characters and Malvolio himself, because you know that Malvolio appears in most scenes and is characterized throughout as a puritanical, fun-spoiling, very pompous and humorless man. So while the other characters are almost always happy, Malvolio is seen as grave. He also emphasizes the importance of dignity, decency, decorum, and the good order. Yet when he thinks he sees a chance for advancement with Olivia, he abandons all such proper conduct and behaves like an utter fool. So that shows how when people are driven by emotions and desire, they can really act opposite to their characters, the characters that they show themselves to be. So early in the play, Maria characterizes him as a Puritan. So Puritan is basically a fun spoiling or somebody who's fun hating. So he is always dressed in black, which is a puritanical costume worn at that time, and also a person whom most people in this play would despise. Yet he is respected by Olivia, and she does wish to retain his good services because he's a loyal servant to her. And it is Malvolio's ultimate egotism which makes him an easy prey for the pranksters. So before they leave the forged fake letter from Olivia for him, he's walking in the garden, daydreaming about the pleasures and the powers he would have if he were married to Olivia. So we see that even before he sees the letter, he already has desires, he aspires to upgrade his social class by marrying Olivia. So his fantasies are revealed. Thus, his own sense of conceit makes him an easy dupe for the trick that is played upon him, just like in Macbeth, because he already had the ambition in his mind, so that the witch's prophecies simply stimulated it. So, a similar experience is here. Well, let's just have a look at Act 3, Scene 4, but I'll be mainly focusing on Malvolio's scene. So I might not talk about Antonio, Sebastian scenes, and then the Cesario and Andrew's fight scene. So my focus is on Malvolio, as I said in the very beginning. So we see him entering on the stage smiling foolishly, and then we see that Lady Olivia is there. His whole appearance has changed as the audience we witness is, especially since we last saw him. So his dark clothes are gone, and he's coming in a very bright appearance. So Maria's forged love note has changed him from being sad and civil into being a merrily smiling fabrication of a courtier. He complains a bit about the cross-gartering causing some obstruction in the blood, but then he suffers gladly, if it will please Olivia, as he says. So smiling and smiling again, he kisses his hand and blows his kisses toward Olivia. And we see that Olivia is dumbfounded by his unexplainable and incongruous dress and behavior. But Malvolio doesn't seem to really notice that. So he is blinded by his aspiration, and he prances before her and quoting various lines of the letter which he supposes that Olivia wrote to him, which is a dramatic irony because the audience knows that it's not a letter really written by Olivia. And in particular, he dwells on the greatness passage several times. So Olivia tries to interrupt what he is saying, but to no avail. He rambles on and on until she is convinced that he must be suffering from midsummer madness. So the theme of madness once again surfaces in the drama. And then a servant announces the arrival of Cesario, and Olivia places the mad Malvolio in Maria's charge. And in fact, she suggests that Sir Toby should look after him. So this can be seen as one of the mistakes that Olivia unknowingly does, because Sir Toby would surely make the maximum use out of it. Meanwhile, Malvolio, remembering the orders which Maria inserted into the letter, spurns Maria, and he's very hostile to Sir Toby and even insulting Fabian. So he finally drives them all to exasperation and fury. And when he leaves, they make plans to lock him up in a dark room, a common solution for handling a lunatic in Elizabethan days. So now his madness is confirmed. His madness is public. And Olivia won't mind, says Sir Toby, because he says that my niece is already in the belief that he is mad. So if you try to analyze this scene in one way, this scene is not only the longest scene in the entire play, it is also longer than the entirety of Act 4 and the entirety of Act 5. So likewise, there are many divisions within this scene in terms of, several different groupings of characters on the stage and several uses of mistaken identities, especially talking about mistaken identities. You can think of Malvolio, who is mistaken for a madman by Olivia, and then Olivia is mistaken for a true love by Malvolio. And at the same time, Viola is mistaken for a man who allegedly insulted Sir Andrew, and Viola is mistaken for a man with a heart of stone by Lady Olivia. And also, Viola is mistaken for her brother Sebastian by Antonio towards the end of this scene. So this scene, if you take it as the longest scene in the drama, actually consists of many self-deceptions and also identity crisis. So moving on to another slide. And also this scene portrays Malvolio as an interesting character who acts as comedic relief for the audience. So we can see this as a sort of a dramatic relief where the audience would really cheer and enjoy his movements, dances, and even the music playing on. And it sheds light on Malvolio's true nature and personality. The audience really begin to wonder whether it was Malvolio that they see before, or whether it's Malvolio that they see now who is the real Malvolio. So this is because the play proceeds to portray the fact that Malvolio engages in thoughts about a romantic relationship with Olivia, his mistress, which significantly contrasts the character of a Puritan that Malvolio tries to put forward. So just like in any other character, we see that Malvolio is not what he seems to be. The repetition of will in his statement show a tone of definition and decisiveness, thus clearly portraying the reason why Malvolio was interested in Olivia in the first place. So it's not really out of romantic love. Thus, the fact that Malvolio pretends to love Olivia and even marry her just to attain a high status, to be able to order Sir Toby and gain high status, portrays him as an interesting character, while also portraying the significance of status in Elizabethan society. So, well, I have come to the end of today's explanation, but I hope that you got some ideas from this video, and I'll be posting more videos in future. We'll talk about Malvolio's character in depth, but this is just a bit of a summary for you, just to keep in touch with what's happening in Act 3, Scene 4 with regard to Malvolio's character. So I'll see you once again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.